I've just told you. We got here in companies, in businesses, with our marketplaces, our clients, in the face of massive competition. In the past, we used to do this in order to survive. Well, that's no longer good enough. You see, there's no one here today that intends to survive. Today, we are compelled to thrive, to know their environment, to understand their marketplace, their jobs, and their responsibilities within it in detail. Because they have infinite knowledge of the conditions and circumstances under which they're expected to succeed and thrive. Because they have formed partnerships, alliances, meaningful relationships, friendships, contacts that they build and they hold. Because they've all developed this eye that will recognize, but then seize and fully exploit every positive opportunity out there that presents itself for their growth. And above all, they've done all of this with an ethic of dominating their turf. What we're doing here is we're kicking opportunities out of the window. Sting out there. That's the problem. It's the sting. You see, folks, the problem here is not the scorpion. Not at all. It's the sting. Why must we always make the problem so much bigger than what it actually is? We would have taken the scorpion and crushed it underfoot and starved to death. If you don't learn to constantly identify exactly what the problems are, what do they look like, where do they lie, then focus on those problems and deal with them. I mean now. If you don't do that, the problem it will not just go away by itself. That sting's not going to drop off and disappear because you know it's there. Dedicated commitment by every individual on the team towards growing our client base, increasing the size of our potential income resource out there in that big marketplace. Everything they've got to look after their income. What are you going to do about it? Don't complain about it. Do something. Then we are performing those old practices that may have worked very well for us back then, now here, in these different modern times. And that, by the way, is where the term actually comes from. Adapt or die. If there's no change, you will not grow. What we've been doing in the past to have got this far, and what we must start doing today now, that's different. That's different. In order to go even further and to keep consistently growing at the same time. Those are different things requiring different sets of action, different thoughts, different ways of doing things from each one of us here on every different skills. Day. The skills that you must learn, you must develop, you must ultimately master if you ever want to be a true champion at this game that you are in. Because if you don't understand the detail, I said, the detail of what it is that makes us totally successful in this business, then you're incapable of ever delivering excellence on this team. Man, we can only be as successful as the combined skills of the people on our team. The point is, you've constantly got to strive to do what you're doing better. Just do it better. Because if you don't, you're going to be hunting grasshoppers for the rest of your life. You are providing us here with a service and a product of a quality that will not fail us in the field. If ever the product, the service, or the quality fails us out there, we must exceed plan. To do better means we've exceeded plan. Every day in this company is equipment day. And in teams, we call this a common goal. You've got to have a plan. And only when they've got a plan, then you must see this team go. Focus is not a fancy business buzzword. Focus is a planetary law for success, and I'm going to prove it to you. And that is focus. But you're not catching anything. Just hand signals to ensure that there will never be a communication breakdown anywhere ever on our teams. To lose communication just once. This communication is clear, it is concise, it is accurate, And it is. This is what happens when they up there expect us down here to hunt giraffes with straws. Look at this guy. Does he look miserable? He's hosing himself. And that's the difference. You see, it's a question of attitude. Attitude is a success strategy. There is nothing that will pick you back up onto your feet when you've been down on your knees, except for your attitude. And sadly, we give this no thought. They say, put it behind you. Move on. Get on with the job. Smarter, not harder. But where's the fourth guy? We call this time management. You see, folks, we have so many hours in the day to get our returns and to get the job done. If you're not actively planning for each of those hours, you simply will not get as many returns. You will not get as much of the job done. It's as simple as that. Our tracker now throws down the bow and arrow, says, well, I'm not shooting. Not my job, you see. Hello, I am a tracker on this team. They are shooters. They get paid a shooter's salary. To prove this, our tracker now whips out that letter of appointment, where our tracker has highlighted the job description. This he now pushes into your face and says, now show me where you can see shoot anywhere on this document. Track, shoot's not in here. The next thing they'll do is ask me to skin this thing as well. Then I might as well run this whole company on my own. And that is the raw and brutal reality of survival and success over time on this continent. Look at it, because there was never another way. What matters, and all that matters, is when you and your team walk back into camp and deliver the goods. That's what happens when you dare become complacent. If we don't sharpen our claws up and dig them in and hold on to that which we have fought for so hard, it will be taken away from us, because it's dog eat dog out there. It's kill or be killed out there. It works like very simple. If you're not out there busy actively hunting, you're being hunted. Sometimes we have to be a bit flexible about some of these laws. The reason why an elephant flaps its ears, kicks up dust, throws treats around, it's showing you what it's got, and it tells us, if we've got competitors, you need to know who they are, what they're capable of, where their strengths lie, niche markets, who's controlling, who's dominating where, and above all, where they may be doing something better than we are. Because if we don't know what that is, we don't know when to start improving. We've just gone back to basics here. And we looked at some of those basics. We started with a baobab tree, where we saw the power of developing proper partnerships, alliances, meaningful relationships, friendships, contacts, building them, holding them, developing an eye that will always recognize, but then seize and exploit every positive opportunity out there. Constant creativity, resourcefulness with everything we do. Your income source. There's not enough you can do for your income source. That's what keeps us alive. Training, skill development, working together in teams, strategy, planning, equipment. I'm not going to go through all that stuff again. And I'll tell you why I'm not going to repeat it all again. For you to understand that if we just use these things, make them the way we think, we move, highlight them, teach it to those around us. If we did that, I guarantee you, you will always hold a very much greater success in the palms of your hands, because then you're starting to use and release your inner, your instinctive survival strengths. These things have worked perfectly for us over time, perfectly. And the proof of that is seated right here in this room this morning. Good luck, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for listening to me. Thank you.